Good evening. I hope I'm audible and visible. So, in today's lecture, good evening, everybody. So, I hope all of you had a good day. Right, let's come to the today's lecture. Today's lecture, we're going to discuss about dissolution of partnership firm. Uh, this is a new edition, Unit 6 in your partnership accounts. So, let's learn about dissolution. Now, all of you have got an idea with regards to what is the meaning of dissolution, right? What is the meaning of dissolution? What is dissolution? Okay. So dissolution means the firm is coming to an end. We're closing down the firm. So that is what dissolution means. Now there are two types of dissolution when it comes to partnerships. Okay, you have to know these differences very clearly. Two types of dissolution. One is what we call as the dissolution of the partnership. Resolution of partnership. And the other one is what you're going to study. It is dissolution of partnership. Although just one word is added for the second event, but it is totally different from this one. So dissolution of partnership and dissolution of partnership firm are two different things. Fundamentally, what are these things? What is dissolution of partnership and what is dissolution of partnership firm? This we have already studied. Okay, when I talk about admission of a partner, that is dissolution of partnership. So there is an existing partnership. You know what is partnership, right? Where more than one person comes together and they come together and they do business. So two people come together and do business. That's a partnership. So now they are running a business. They're doing a business. They find a need that they have to add one more partner to the firm. So what do? They reconstitute the firm. The whole concept of reconstitution comes. So reconstitution means the firm is getting a new partner. So the deed also is redrafted. So the whole partnership agreement between the partners, the first agreement gets cancelled and the new agreement comes to effect. So with the new partner in, we will make a new agreement. So that is known as admission of a partner. So that is a dissolution of a partnership. An existing partnership is dissolved and a new partnership is formed. Similarly, in the case of retirement, so there are three partners. One partner decides to leave, retire. So their dissolution of partnership occurs again, right? So one partner leaves. So there was a partnership between three people. Now one partner is leaving. So that's a dissolution of partnership. And a new partner comes in. So that's a dissolution of partnership. The firm is there, the business is there. We're not saying we're closing down the business. Just the partnership gets dissolved and a new partnership gets formed. That is the case in the case of death of a partner as well. That is the case in the case of even change in profit sharing ratio. You don't have to, one person does not have to leave or a new person does not have to add. So the change in profit sharing ratio also is considered as dissolution of partnership and a new partnership will be formed. So basically, we also call this as reconstitution of the firm. So the firm gets reconstituted. That's all. The business will continue. The existing underlying business, whatever the partnership was undertaking, that business will be there. There is no change in that. Only thing is the ownership structure changes. The old ownership structure comes to an end. The old partnership comes to an end, and a new partnership is formed to run the same business. Now we have the concept of dissolution of partnership firm. This is slightly different. This is here what happens is the firm itself comes to an end. The business is closed down, it's shut down. The partnership firm business is shut down. Uh, For example, this could happen if there is some dispute between the partners. So they might decide that enough of the business, we will sell off everything, we will share whatever we get. Or the business runs out of, the firm runs out of business. So the whatever the product the firm was selling has no demand in the market. They have not innovated anything new. So because of which the firm has run out of business. In that case, again, lack of demand in the business, some problem, or even lack of supply of raw materials and all might force the firm to close down. That might be the reason. Or there might be other reasons also. These were all negative reasons, right? Business coming to an end. So there could be some positive reasons also why the business might be, a partnership firm might be closing down. For example, they might be converting it into a company. For example, I have a very nice idea. The firm has a very nice idea. The firm has a patent. The firm has a some unique database of customers and all. So now we will convert this into a startup. So startup generally is in the form of company. So all the benefits that the government and all gives for startups is if it is in the form of a company. So what these firms might do is they might shut down the partnership firm, and whatever businesses they might transfer it as it is to the company, might transfer it to the company. So that is closure of the firm, and a new company is opened in that case. So like this, there are various reasons. Or the partnership firm might be sold to some other business, other company, or other firm might take over our firm. So our firm comes to an end, and the new firm takes over. So amalgamation of partnerships, absorption of partnerships. So this may happen, especially in CA practices. Also, this happens a lot of times. There is let's say in Mangalore we have partnership firms, CA firms. Okay, so now a big four, like a big four accounting firm from Bangalore, from global firm who are in Bangalore, in Karnataka, they're only in Bangalore right now. Let's say they decide to come to Mangalore. So now they might not have so much business in Bangalore, but when they come, they will set up a nice office. They will hire some chartered accountants. They'll hire a lot of people. So they will need work to give to those guys, right? They'll need some work. So what the Big Four generally does is they will, look for these smaller firms, and they will take over those firms, and they'll merge it with their Big Four company, whatever it is. Now, let's say if Ernst and Young is coming over here to Bangalore, so EY will take over small CA firms, and whatever business this firm has, whatever assets this firm has, will be transferred to EY. EY will give some money to these chartered accountants and send them home, or sometimes they'll also retain them. So, like this, companies may do, they might take over all these partnership firms and merge into their business. It's not just in our case, this happens in all the businesses. When an MNC is coming to India, they don't start from zero, because they'll anyway have a lot of money. So they'll take over existing businesses, small businesses, they'll take over, and they will merge it into their business. So that is also dissolution of partnership firm. So there the business comes to an end. Right. So now some of the differences already we've seen how different these two things are. Accounting wise differences. So accounting wise differences, as understandably, here we don't close the books of accounts. Books of accounts are not closed when the partnership is dissolved. In the case of reconstitution of firm, right, admission, retirement, and all, I do not close the partnership's books. Books and accounting records are closed ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Adjustment entries pass ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ books ಅನ್ನೇ close ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಾನು. Partnership firm close ಮಾಡುವಾಗ I close the books of accounts of the firm itself. Then here we revalue all the assets, right? Reconstitution ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಡೆತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ admission ಅಲ್ಲಿ we revalue the assets and liabilities of the firm. So revaluation of assets and liabilities happens. But in the case of partnership firms which are getting dissolved, dissolution of partnership firm in the case really now assets, liabilities, and the market, we sell it, we sell the assets, we repay the liabilities. So assets are sold off, and liabilities are repaid. So we call that concept as realization. So a realization account is opened and the entries are made. So these were some of the fundamental differences between the two uh, concepts, two distinct concepts, that is dissolution of partnership and dissolution of partnership firm. Although it may sound one to your ears, but it is not one. What we are going to discuss in this chapter is this concept, dissolution of partnership firm. So let's write some notes before we start with the problems and stuff. Just a minute, I'll come back. Okay, so please put the heading introduction. I hope you wrote the name of the unit 6 of the partnership account. This is chapter 10 in the ICAI material. Dissolution of partnership firms and LLPs. LLPs, one small question is there. Okay, first introduction. Dissolution of a partnership firm refers to closure of the partnership business wherein all the assets of the firm are sold and the liabilities are repaid. Are repaid. The dissolution may happen either voluntarily, like for example, disputes, in case of disputes between the partners, lack of demand for the products and services of the firm, or lack of profitability, etc. This is voluntary, dissolution, or the dissolution may be carried out as per the orders of the court. When will the court order to dissolve the firm? When you're doing something illegal, right? If you're doing something illegal, the court might say, "Boss, you have to close down the business." So that might also be one of the reasons why the business may have to be closed. The firm might have to be closed. The one more reason. Okay, so these are the reasons why the firm might be dissolved. Okay, now please put the heading differences between dissolution of partnership and dissolution of partnership firm. Dissolution of partnership and dissolution of partnership firm. Okay, this is kind of important for theory question. This could be asked this time, so be careful. So draw a line between the page. What is dissolution of partnership? As I told you, it is also known as reconstitution of partnership, right? It happens in the case of admission, death, retirement, change in profit sharing ratio. So that is known as dissolution of partnership. What is dissolution of partnership form? The closure of the business. That's dissolution of partnership form. Okay, please write first point. Dissolution of partnership refers to the discontinuance of the relation between the partners. So this is the difference between, I mean, this is the meaning of dissolution of partnership. However, dissolution of partnership firm. What is dissolution of partnership firm? Dissolution of firm refers to the end of the existence of the entire firm, including the relation between partners. So this is one of the differences. Next, what do we have next? What is the reason for dissolution of partnership? This may happen due to change in profit sharing ratio, admission, death, retirement, etc. Right? This may happen due to change in profit sharing ratio, admission of a partner, retirement, or death of a partner. Why would dissolution of a firm happen? This may happen, as I told you, either voluntarily or by the order of the court. So there are two reasons there. Voluntarily means I told you, lack of business, lack of customers and stuff, or disputes. This happens either due to the voluntary decision of the partners or due to an order of the court. Order of the court. Next, third one. In the event of dissolution of partnership, the business continues as usual. That means whatever business they were doing, trading business, manufacturing business, service sector, the business will go as it is. Only the ownership structure changes. Right, the partnership changes. That means how the business is owned changes, the ownership structure. Here it's not like that. In this case, it is not like that. In this case, it is in the event of dissolution of the firm, the business ceases to end. That means there's no business after this. Here, there is no intervention of the court. The court will not come and tell, oh, you have to admit this guy, you have to, kill this person, death of a partner, you have to retire this partner. There is no intervention of the court, right? The court never comes in between. You do what you want. But here, the court will say you have to dissolve the firm if you have made some fraud or you're running an illegal business. ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಫ್ರಾಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ದ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸೇ ಸೊ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ದ ಇನ್ಹೆರೆಂಟ್ ಪವರ್ ಟು ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂನ್. Okay, now let's come to the accounting part. Here, assets and liabilities. What do we do in the case of dissolution of partnership, admission, and allow? What do we do? Do we sell off the asset? No, no. We just assets and liabilities are devalued, right? Devalued. Here, assets are sold and liabilities are paid off. We call this as realization. Paid off. The assets and liabilities are realized basically. One more, last one. Okay, last but one. Revaluation account is prepared. 6.1 second. Revaluation account is prepared. And in the case of dissolution of a firm, what is prepared? In the case of dissolution of a firm, realization account is prepared. Okay. So you can write under dissolution of partnership, under dissolution of partnership, the evaluation account is prepared. Under this, realization account is prepared. Books of accounts are not closed. We don't close the books of accounts. And here, when the firm is getting dissolved, the books of accounts are closed. That's it. 7 differences. Okay. Now let's talk about the realization account. Okay, let's understand how to close the books. I told you the books are closed, right? How to close the books. Now, see balance sheet. Let's draw a mock-up balance sheet. And balance sheet of a firm. Balance sheet. I hope you know how a balance sheet looks like. Partnership firm, not a company. So we have this traditional format, not the schedule 3 and all. Simple. Liabilities amount, assets amount. So now on the asset side, let's say I have a land, 5 lakhs, buildings, 2 lakhs. There is furniture, 50,000. There is computers, 40,000. There's cash in hand, 20,000. There are some preliminary expenses. Preliminary expenses are those, it's a deferred revenue expenditure. It's not an asset actually, it's a fictitious asset. Just because it has debit balance, it is appearing on the asset side. Adalon 10,000 balance. Okay, this is how our asset side is looking. So asset side total will be how much? 5 lakhs plus 2 lakhs plus 50,000. That's 7.5. 8 lakh 20,000 is the total. Please confirm and see if it's 8 lakh 20,000. Okay, liabilities. We have creditors. We could write your debtors also. I missed the debtors point. We will add one. Debtors, 35,000 less provision for bad debts, 5,000, 30,000 outer column. So we'll make this 8 lakh 50,000. 8 lakh 50,000. Okay. Creditors. This is 40,000. There's a bank loan, 60,000. Partners capital accounts. Let's say we have 3 partners, A, B, C. You don't have to take this down, just pay attention. Just pay attention. Don't have to take this down. It's 2 lakh, 2 lakh, 2 lakh. Total is 6 lakhs. Then we have some P&L account at, let us say, 1 lakh 50,000. Okay, we will do one thing. P&L account is at 50,000. And B has given a loan, or rather, B has taken a loan from the business. Oh, sorry. B has given a loan. B has put 2 lakh towards his capital, plus he has given another 1 lakh as loan to the firm. It's a liability for the firm. So we loan kottidana. So this is how the balance sheet is looking. I hope it's matching. Asset side, liability side is matching. Now let's understand how dissolution of a firm works and how we give effect to this whole balance sheet here now. Dismantle matter. First, we do something called as the dismantling of the balance sheet. So what we do is, ನೋಡಿ, ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾರ್ತೇವೆ, ರೈಟ್? ವಿ ಸೆಲ್ ಇಟ್. ಸೊ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾರಬೇಕು, ಫರ್ಮ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಮಾರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸೋಲ್ಡ್, ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ಡ್. building will be sold. It should be realized. Furniture will be sold. ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಹಣ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಗೆ, but these are the book values. ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. This is generally the cost of the asset. If it is depreciated, then we have minus depreciation. So it's to book value unto, but it might be sold, or it might be sold or realized for a lesser or a price higher than this. Computers, we will sell it. Cash in hand won't be sold. Okay, cash in hand ಅಂದ್ರೆ cash ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾರೋದು? You don't sell cash. So cash will be there with you, so it's not realized. So this won't come in the realization account. ಇದು realize ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ cash in hand. Preliminary expenses. Preliminary expenses is not an asset. You can't sell expenses. ಇದು ಮುಂಚೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೇ ಇನ್ಕರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್, ಅದು ನಾವು ಅಮೋರ್ಟೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಓವರ್ ಅ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್, ಡೆಫರ್ಡ್ ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್. So it's not an asset. So again, I can't sell preliminary expenses. So this also won't come in the realization account. It will go to the realization account only. Debtors will be repaid, right? I mean, collected. Debtors now hana collect ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, out ನಮಗೆ payment ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So we will have to collect. We will have to realize money. Debtors ಮಾರುದಿಲ್ಲ, but we have to realize money. Amount has to be collected from them. So both of this will come in the realization account. Where it will come, I will discuss with you. Creditors will be paid. So similarly, this also will come in the realization account. Bank loan will be paid. So this also will come in the realization account. Partners capital account, ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಹಣ ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಉಳಿತದೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡೋದು. So again, this will not come in the realization account. Last ಉಳಿತದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡುವುದು. So this will not come in realization account. Same thing with P&L also. This is not something that we will have to collect. This is payable towards the partner. So partners accounts will put there. These loan, a loan from a partner. Again, ಇದು ಕೂಡ partners capital account ಗೆ transfer ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡ್ತೇವೆ. So now all of this partners capital accounts, this will come in the PCA itself. Partners capital account ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಇದು ಕೂಡ ನಾನು partner ಇದ್ದೇ loan ಇದು. This is partners loan. So it will come in the partners capital account itself. Cash in hand will come in the cash account. Preliminary expenses again will be transferred to partners capital account. We will close that account by transferring it to partners capital account. Expense ಮುಂಚೆ ಬುಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನು ಕೂಡ. So then ಈಗ ನಾನು partners capital account ಗೆ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. I will reduce the partners capital account to that extent. It will go to the partners capital account. So this is the basic concept of how the assets and liabilities flow through. We will get more idea as we go further. Now let's discuss the concept of realization account with this much basics. So ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ. Now let's discuss how the realization account works. I just wanted you to know through that example what comes in the realization, what does not come in the realization. So what does not come in the realization account? Cash does not come in the realization account. You can't sell cash, right? Preliminary expenses will not come in the realization account, or any unwritten expenditures. Like you might have a discount on issue of some securities, partnership forms ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, advertisement suspense accounts ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂತ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಸೆಟ್ ಇದ್ದದೆಲ್ಲ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಹಾಕುದಿಲ್ಲ, ನೋಡಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು. Then partners related accounts ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ, partners capital account ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ, partners loan ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಖಾಲಿ partners loan which we have taken is there. We might have given some loan to the partners. So asset side ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದು ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ. Partners related ಯಾವುದು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ. Current accounts ಇದ್ರೆ partners current accounts will not come. Reserves and surplus won't come. P&L, general reserve ಅಂತದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು you can't collect money from anyone, or you can't pay money to anyone. So ಅದು realization item ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ. So partners related accounts ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ. Partners related accounts ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ capital accounts, loan accounts, current accounts, reserve accounts, unwritten expenditures ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ partners capital account ಗೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಬಿಡೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಖಾಲಿ external borrowings, external receivables, assets, fixed assets ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತದೆ in the realization account. ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೆಯುವುದು ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಕಲ್ತು ಬಿಡುವ. So realization account, don't take this down, I'll give you a nice format later. This is the format of the realization account. See, you understand this, half of the chapter is done. It's very simple. Pay proper attention, that's all. Okay. ಈಗ ಎಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಐ ಕಾಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಅಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಮ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್. ಈಗ ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಛಿದ್ರ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು, ಛಿದ್ರ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್, ಛಿದ್ರ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೀಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಎನಿಮೋರ್, ರೈಟ್? ದಿಸ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್, ಸೊ ಟು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿದ್ದ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇಟ್, ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ದ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ಜನರಲಿ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡುದು ನಾನು bank to asset, right? Bank account debit to asset account. That is a journal entry we pass generally. But realization al hagalla. Realization alli we are going to sell all the assets. One asset matra alla ella asset ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. So ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಆ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಹೊಡಿದಿಲ್ಲ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ನಾವು ಎಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, the moment we decide that we're going to close the business, ಎಲ್ಲ assets ಅನ್ನು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, assets ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂತ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, what will be the nature of the balance in the asset accounts? Asset accounts in the nature of the balance in that. What is the nature of the balance in the asset accounts? In the asset accounts, the nature of the balance is debit balances. So our debit balances in everything to our asset account in the now realization account ಗೆ transfer ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡ್ತೇವೆ. So we will debit the realization account with that balance. And what is the nature in the liability accounts? Liability accounts in the nature ಇರ್ತದೆ. It will be credit balances, right? Liabilities will have credit balances. So ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ತೆಗೆದು liability accounts ಇಂದ ತೆಗೆದು ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು realization account ಗೆ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡ್ತೇವೆ. Then all the sale entries are done through the realization account itself. Realization account ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನಾನು sale entries pass ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ. So let's learn that. So what I do now is two. ಸೊ ನೋಡಿ, ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟೆಡ್, ರೈಟ್? ಟು ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ 5 lakhs and that will be debited to the realization account. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. So realization account is debited. This is the realization account. It is debited and land account is getting credited. So particulars ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀತೇವೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಹಾಗೆ, ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಟು ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. Don't get confused. So land is to be credited. You're debiting land. No, this is not land account. This is realization account. Realization account is to be debited. I am debiting it. ಖಾಲಿ particulars column ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ where the credit is going. Okay. So that's all. Two buildings. So book values ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಿತಾ ಹೋಗೋದು. This is not the sale entry. This is just asset transfer entry. ಎಲ್ಲ assets ಮಾರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಲೈನ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಡುವುದು. ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತವೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ಈ assets ಮಾರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಉಂಟು, ಈ assets ಹಣ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಉಂಟು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲೈನ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಡೋದು ಅದರ ಬುಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ವಿ ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಬುಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದು ಹೊರಗೆ ತಂದು ಇಡುದು. ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ತೆಗೆದು ಹೊರಗೆ ತಂದು ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುದು. ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ಮಾಡುದು. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ತೆಗೆದು ತಂದು ಒಂದೇ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಒಂದೇ ಕಡೆ ಇಡುದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಆನ್ ಸೇಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಒಂದೇ ಸರ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡುದು. Two computers, 40,000. ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಮಾಡುದು? ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಈ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವೋಂಟ್ ಕಮ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮಿನರಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ವೋಂಟ್ ಕಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಡೆಟೋಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಡೆಟೋಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ ದ ಎಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ to debtors account. 35,000 is the balance in debtors account. So 35,000 will come. That 5,000 is to be minused. No, this has credit balance. Provision account always has credit balance, right? So this can't be written on the debit side. Provision and ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ದ್ರೆ add ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಆಗ್ತದೆ provision. 5,000, 40,000 ಬರ್ದಾಗ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. No, we have to minus it. So what do? ಯಾವ side ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆಯುವ provision and the provision for bad debts and we will write it on the credit side because it has credit balance. So to come on the credit side. So you are not selling it. We're not selling provision for bad debts at ಮಾರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ. But debtors ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಉಂಟು, ಇಷ್ಟು ಹಣ ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು bad debts ಇದು provision ಉಂಟು 5,000. So this acts more like a minus from the debtors. That's all. It's like a deduction from the debtors. So ಹೀಗೆ ಫುಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾನು ಅಸೆಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತಂದು ಇಟ್ಟೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಸೈಡ್ ಇಂದ ಕೂಡ ಹಾಗೆ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ದ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಬೈ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ 40,000 by bank loan 60,000. ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಉಳಿತದೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡುದು ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಪಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ ಕೂಡ ಅದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್, ಬೀಸ್ ಲೋನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಯಾವುದು ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ. If it was Mrs. B's loan, then it would come over here. Okay, partner to spouse ಇದು loan ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ. Partner ಇದು loan ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ. So this is how the book values are written in the realization account. Then what we do is we start selling the assets. We start getting money from the from the debtors and all, and we make payment towards the liabilities and all. We start doing it. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು individually entry pass ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Now, for example, when the land is being sold, what is the entry generally when we pass when I sell the land? I will say bank account debit to land account. But here I can't say bank account debit to land account because land account has already been closed. Whatever balance is there in the land account has been transferred to realization account. There's no balance in the land account at all. So land account ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂಚೆ ಹೀಗೆ balance ಇತ್ತು. This was the land account before. To balance brought down. We had 5 lakh rupees balance. But just now we transferred it to realization. No, we said it is lined up for sale. We have put it on olx.com. So 5 lakh has been transferred to realization account. It's due for realization. So there is no balance over here. The balance is illa. So sale aguvaga entry illi pass madlikkilla. We will not pass the entry in the land account. Rather, we will pass the entry in the realization account itself. So the entry for sale of any asset is bank account debit. We're getting money. So bank account debit to realization account. So realization account will be credited. So this is for the sale of assets. Illi intella asset marideve ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹಣ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ. Let's say for example land has fetched us 7 lakhs. Building has fetched us 1,80,000. Furniture sale ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಾನು, ಒಬ್ಬ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ has taken it over. I'll tell you how that works. Computers also one partner has taken over, let us say. No, computers is taken over by the ಒಬ್ಬ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋದ. ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ಸ್ 40,000 ಇದು ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, 40,000 ಇದು ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಉಂಟು, ಅದು ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಅದು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತ. Debtors, we have received money from the debtors. We have received 28,000. So total money received is 7 lakh plus 1,80,000 plus 28,000. 9,08,000 hana bandide. What did I tell you about furniture? Furniture yaar tekondu hogidane? Furniture partner tekondu hogidane. Let's say A has taken over the furniture. Journal entry anta A has taken over the furniture. So partner has taken over. Partner has taken over and the firm in the liability towards the partner reduces. So the capital reduces of the partner. So we have to debit the capital account of the partner. So A's capital account will be debited to furniture, but I don't have the furniture account because furniture has been transferred to realization. No. So A's capital account to realization account. Just bank account debit to realization ಮಾಡೋದು ಬದಲು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡುದು is capital account. Let's say the value is 50,000 but he has taken it over at 42,000. Yes, this is the journal entry for takeover of the asset by the partner. I hope everyone has understood this. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ on the liability side, provision ಇದು ಯಾರಿಂದಲೂ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಸೆಟ್, ಇದು ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಈಗ ಎಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್, ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, but before that we'll discuss bank loan. Bank loan repayment ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. What is the entry when I repay the bank loan? Generally the entry will be bank loan account debit to bank. This is the journal entry. But here again the same problem. Bank loan account only credit balance it to initially. By balance brought down was there 60,000. But we transferred it to realization. So there's no balance now. We passed this entry. No, we credited it to the realization account. So there is no balance in the bank loan account. Bank loan only balance illa. So ಈಗ ಎಂತ ಮಾಡುದು, when we repay the bank loan, instead of debiting the bank loan account, I debit the realization account. So realization account debit to bank account. ಹಣ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಗೆ, ಸೊ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂದ ಹಣ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. So realization account debit to bank account. 60,000 ಎಷ್ಟು ಲೋನ್ ಉಂಟು ಅಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಜರ್ನಲ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ. ಈಗ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನಾ? ನೋ, ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಜನರಲಿ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಹೀಗೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ 40,000 to our computers ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So our asset is reducing, one liability is reducing and the asset is reducing. So computers ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ 40,000 ಅದು. Creditors account debit to computers account. This would be the journal entry. But the problem over here is both of these accounts have been closed, right? Because it was transferred to realization. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ realization ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೂ realization ಬರ್ತದೆ. Asset account ಕೂಡ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ earlier, liability account ಕೂಡ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ, because whatever balance was there in the asset and liability account has been transferred to the realization account of the firm. So realization account ಗೆ transfer ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. So therefore the journal entry will be now realization account debit to realization account. We do not pass any journal entry, we don't give effect at all for this, because ಇದು ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ ಕೂಡ ಸೇಮ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ಲ. ಇದೇ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇದರ ಟೇಕ್ ಓವರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಎಂತಾದ್ರು ಟೇಕ್ ಓವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಐ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ಗಿವ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬುಕ್ಸ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇವನ್ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿಫೈಸ್. ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಕೂಡ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಕೂಡ ಸೇಮ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ನಾನು ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್? ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಯು, ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯು ಫಾಲೋಡ್ ಇಟ್? Yes. Okay. So whenever an asset is taken over by a liability, no entry is made in the books of accounts of the firm, because it is mutual set off ಆಗ್ತದೆ, and mutual set off should be done through the realization account. The asset account, liability account ಹೇಗೂ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ by transfer to the realization account. Then in addition to this, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಖರ್ಚು ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು realization related. So what if the creditors is more than the computer value? Then remaining you might have paid it in the in cash, right? So ಎಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೇವೆ ಅದು ಟು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಇದೇ ಎಂಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸೇ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ 60,000 rupees, 40,000 ಇದು ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರು ಅವರು, 20,000 ನಾನು ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟದ್ದು ಟು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ದು ಬಿಡ್ತೇನೆ ನಾನಲ್ಲಿ, because 20,000 ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೇನೆ. ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ 20,000. Is that clear, Sandy? Right? Sometimes they might say, sir, 60,000 into liability unto the computers 40,000 into ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ, fine, we will not ask for anything extra. Payment ಕೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿಯೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಖಾಲಿ 40,000 ಇದ್ದು ಎಸೆಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು, ಉಳಿದ 20,000ಗೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿಯೇ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ನಾನು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ, ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡದಿದ್ರೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿಯೇ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಲಾಭ ಆಯ್ತು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು. ಅದಿಲ್ಲ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್. ನಾಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮಚ್, ಇಟ್ ಮೈಟ್ ಬಿ ಸಮ್ ಎಡಿಷನಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾರುವಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರೋಕರೇಜ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾರುವಾಗ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ಕಟ್ಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತದ, ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಉಂಟು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಉಂಟು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅ ಬ್ರೋಕರ್, ಐ ಮೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಸಮ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್. ಸೊ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಖರ್ಚು ಇರ್ತದೆ, ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಗಡ್ಬಿಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ. ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಡಿಸಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೇಗ ಬೇಗ ಮಾರಿ ಸೆಟಲ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕೆಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಖರ್ಚು ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ದ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೇ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಟು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. If there is any kharcha, any expenses, brokerage and all of that, realization expenses idre adna nille debit ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡ್ತೇನೆ. I won't debit it to the expense, I'll debit it over here itself. Done. That's it. Then we close this account, we find out the profit or loss on the realization, and transfer it to the partner's capital account. So now I want you to take down the format of the realization account. See, whatever we discussed, it's the same format. It's just neatly given in the ICA material. So we'll take it down in our notes. So first, what I do, I get all the assets. Assets alla debit balance irtade. So debit balance alla ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ debit ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ to sundry assets. Sundry assets means total assets, right? All the assets. So all assets ಬರ್ತದೆ, excluding cash, bank, debit balance of P&L account, partners current account, capital account, loan accounts. ಸೊ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ. P&L ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕ್ಯುಮುಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಲಾಸಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಲಾಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ವಿಚ್ ಎವರ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಸೋಲ್ಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಸೋಲ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ಡ್. Then sundry liabilities also similarly, excluding credit balance of P&L account, partners current account, capital account, and loan account. Everything else, all of the liabilities whichever are due for payment will come. By provision on assets, provision for doubtful debts will come over here. Provision on assets means that the asset fully recoverable illa, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ provision ಉಂಟು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಉಂಟು, ಆಗ provision ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ. Then the entries for sale, expenses and all will come. So for sale of assets, buy bank or cash, amount realized from assets and unrecorded assets. So ಕೆಲವೊಮ್ಮೆ unrecorded assets ಇರ್ತದೆ, unrecorded assets which I did not talk about. So unrecorded assets ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಗೇನ್ ಆಗ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಗೇನ್. ಸೊ ದ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಇಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಟು ಅಸೆಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ಗೇನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಆ ಗೇನ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾನು ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಗೆ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕೀಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಅದು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮರ್ತೋಗಿತ್ತು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ. ಸೊ ಅದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿತ್ತು ಕೀಬೋರ್ಡ್, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಮಾರಿಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಈಗ. ಸೊ ಅದು ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಗೆ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡ್ತೇವೆ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಗೇನ್. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಸೇಲ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ. Similarly, expense liabilities ಕೂಡ ಹಾಗೆ, amount paid for liabilities and unrecorded liabilities. If it's a liability, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಅನ್ರೆಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಲಾಸ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾನು ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಗೆ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಉಂಟು, ಅದು ನಾನು ಬರ್ದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಲಾಸ್. ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಸೇಮ್, ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಟು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. One more entry. Okay, this one. By assets taken over by the partners. Partners ಇಲ್ಲಿ assets take over ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, I won't debit the cash or bank, I will debit the partners capital account. So partners capital account to realization account, it will come over here. If the partners are taking over any liability, which I did not discuss with you, liability ಏರಿಯಾಲ್ಲೂ ಟೇಕ್ ಓವರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಲೋನ್ ನಾವು ರೀಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಆಗ ಎಂತ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, liability will come down. So realization account debit, ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಇದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಗಿದೆ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಗೆ. ಸೊ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಟು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ಅವರ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ಗೋಸ್ ಅಪ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಡನ್. Expenses also, if there's any expense paid by the partners towards realization, ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. It's an expense realization account and it is payable to the partners. So partners capital account credit ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ now. Then finally profit or loss. If it's profit, it is debited over here. The E side ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ credit side. So it will be transferred to the partner's capital account. If it is a loss, debit side will be more. It will be transferred from the credit side to the partner's capital account. More clarity we will get as we go through the questions. You can just briefly understand a bit. So I hope you have understood the concept of the realization account. Take this down, please. I hope you're writing it down. you're done writing, you can take a break, and after the break, we'll start with the problems. So we'll restart at 6:50. Right. Take your break. We will restart at 6:55. Okay, 6:55. Finish writing and take a 15 minutes break. All right, shall we continue? Let's start with the problems now. Let's discuss questions. I hope I'm audible and visible. Yes. Welcome back. Let's do questions from dissolution of partnership now. Yes. Illustration one from the ICI textbook. We're doing it now. X, Y, and Z are partners of the firm, X, Y, Z, and Co., sharing profits and losses in the ratio 4 is to 3 is to 2. Following is the balance sheet of the firm as on 31st March 22. So they've given a balance sheet. Let's read the balance sheet. On the liability side, we have the partners' capital account. Okay, first let's look at the asset side. Fixed assets, 5 lakhs, stock and trade, Sunny debtors, cash in hand. So fixed assets will go to the realization account, stock in hand will go to the realization account. Sunny debtors will also go to the realization account. Cash in hand will not go to the realization account. We'll prepare the cash account for this. So ಇದು cash account ಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೇವೆ ನಾವು opening balance. Partners capital account, partners capital accounts ಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು. General reserve will be distributed to the partners in the old ratio. So in the ratio, partners capital account, realization account. Partners of the firm decided to dissolve the firm on the above said date. Fixed assets are realized 5,20,000 and book debts 4,40,000. Stocks were valued at 2,50,000. It was taken over by partner Y. So partner is taking over the stock. Creditors allowed discount of 5% and the expense of realization amounted to 6,000. You're required to prepare realization account, partners capital account, cash account. So what we do is we prepare all the three parallelly, simultaneously ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೂರು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋದು. It pans out very beautifully. You just have to have control of all the accounts properly. ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋ. ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ realization account in the format, any ledger account, particulars and amount columns. Particulars, amount. Then you need the partners capital account. How many partners do we have? We have three partners, so three columns each. Particulars, three columns, particulars, three columns. X, Y, and Z. Then we need the cash account. Simple ledger. Have you all joined the session? Are you all doing this with me? Yes or no? Put it on the chat box. I want to see your names. Cash account. Particular amount, particular. Right. Now let's start. The first process, as I call it, the most important process is dismantling the balance sheet. Balance sheet ಅನ್ನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂತ ಹೇಳುದು ಬಾರಿ ಛಿದ್ರ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕೋದು ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಆಸೆಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಆಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ, ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಟು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಆಸೆಟ್ಸ್. $5 ಇಂಥ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಉಂಟು, ಅದೇ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಇದ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ ಬರಿತಾ ಹೋಗುದು, ಎಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕುದು. ಅದ್ರ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುದು. 3 lakhs. Sunday debtors. Sunday debtors. 5 lakhs. Cash in hand. Cash in hand ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ. This will come in the cash account. Cash account ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ ನಾವು already. So cash account ಅಲ್ಲಿ debit balance. To balance brought down. What is the balance? 10,000. Yes, very important. 15-mark question can be expected. So as you can see, debit balances, as I said, debit balances irudu. So we have written everything on the debit side. ಮೂರು ಅಸೆಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದು ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಡೆದಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಅಸೆಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಈಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್, ಇದು ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ದ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್, ರೈಟ್, ಇಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ 30 marks. ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ 30 marks ಇದು ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇಡಬೇಡಿ. ಆಸ್ ಯು ನೋ, ಆವರೇಜ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಡೇಟ್, ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಈ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಬದಲು ಇದು ಬರ್ತದೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಇಂದ ತೆಗೆದು ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. 100% ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿಗೆ ಬಂದೇ ಬರ್ತದೆ 30 marks. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ with the mindset to appear only for 70 marks. So our 70 marks will put a company accounts the questions difficult bandre, or in PO the question difficult bandre, they will people last year. So you are basically not studying this 30 marks and going for the exams. That means you're taking a huge risk, right? So don't do that. Study this properly. Don't keep this for the end. Crash course alli nan kalitane, nan last ge kalitane, nan. These are all recipes to fail exams. I always tell students, it's easy. It's much easier to fail exam. I mean, as a student, I failed it. It's easy to fail exams. Exam fail like in the world. In fact, I have plans of writing a book, how to fail exams in 30 days. All right. It's very simple. I'll give you 100 tips how to fail exams. Keep everything like those important stuff, things that I have not studied before for the last moment. See this new syllabus, whatever the addition syllabus is there in the month of April, in the month of May. Last moment adu. March ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು, ಮಾರ್ಚ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಮುಗಿಬೇಕಿತ್ತು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಇದು ಡಿಲೇ ಮಾಡಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಗೆ. ರಿವಿಷನ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. This is recipe for failure. So if you are serious about CA, you have to show that seriousness. ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರೆ it is not going to happen. Simple. CA ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ. ಪೆಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿ do something else. CA ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಉಂಟು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ you have to sit and start. ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡ್ತೇನೆ ಸರ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ವಾಚ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ 2x, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ವಾಚ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ 3x, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ವಾಚ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಈಗ ಎಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಇದೆ when the class is happening, what will you do? Live class ಆಗುವಾಗ ಎಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ನಾವು, ವಾಚ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ವಾಚ್ ಲೇಟರ್ ಇನ್ 2x. Okay, if you're doing something more important at this point, fine, do that. But most of us are not doing anything, we're just lying on the bed, distracting ourselves, going into more distractions. Don't do that. Watch the lectures, sit and solve the questions, do it with me. So ಇದೆಲ್ಲ 2x ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ. You have to sit and do it in regular classes. So that is why. So don't simply waste this opportunity. You got it for free. So don't waste this opportunity, please. Okay, partners capital account. ಇದು realization account ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು partners capital account ಅಲ್ಲಿ opening balance ಬರುತ್ತೇನೆ ನಾನು by balance product. XYZ ಮೂರು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, 4 lakh, 3 lakh, 2 lakh. ಜನರಲ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಬಿಡುವ, ಇನ್ನು ಫರ್ಮೇ ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಂತ ಮಾಡುದು ಅನ್ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡುದು ಇನ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. 90,000 ಉಂಟು, that will be distributed in their profit sharing ratio of 4:3:2. So that's what, 40,000, 30,000, 20,000. Last is Sunday creditors. Sunday creditors will be paid off. So the realization account on the credit side will be by Sunday creditors. $3,20,000. Okay. So as you can see, liability side ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅದು ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಡನ್. ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಮ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಯ್ತು. Now let's go to the next step. Next step is reading, understanding what has happened, dissolution related ಎಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದೆ ನೋಡುದು. Partners of the firm decide to dissolve the firm on the above said date ಆಯ್ತು. Fixed assets realized 5,20,000 and book debts 4,40,000. Okay, so ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ನಾವು. Stock was taken over by partner, ಇದು separate entry pass ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So fixed assets ಇದು ಮತ್ತೆ book debts means Sunday debtors. ಹಣ ಬಂದಿದೆ. So let's write it on the realization account ಅಲ್ಲಿ debit side. The journal entry, sorry, credit side. The journal entry for this is bank account debit. ಹಣ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ to realization account. Asset account ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, but asset accounts have been transferred here ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಉಂಟು. So now we will credit it over here in the realization account. Have you understood? By bank account. Inner column, write fixed assets, ಎಷ್ಟು ಹಣ ಬರ್ತಾ ಉಂಟು 5,20,000. Book debts $4,40,000. So 9,60,000 is the total amount received, which instead of crediting to the asset account, we're crediting to the realization account itself because the asset accounts have been closed over here. It's 9,60,000. And it will come in the, okay, now cash and the cash in hand. So you can rather here write by bank into they have this much amount cash in the truck tempo realization. But anyway, we will write it as cash only there also in the to realization account. How much is the amount? 9,60,000. In brackets, you can write what is this towards assets realized. Correct? No, asset Marudu. Stocks were valued at 2,50,000 and it was taken over by partner Y. Now, the stock nan marta illa, stock and the partner tegondo hogidane. So, in that case, what is the journal entry now? Our liability towards the partner who Y is taking it over. So, Y's capital account will be debited to realization account. Asset ಇದು ಬದಲು realization and credit ಮಾಡೋದು correct ಅಲ್ಲ? Actually, asset credit ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, but asset has been debited to this account itself. So, ಇಲ್ಲಿ by Y's capital account, the value, whatever value is taken it over, that will come 2,50,000. See, the actual value is 3 lakh, but coming that is fine. Market value could be lesser. 2,50,000. ಅದು partners capital account ಅಲ್ಲಿ post ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. We have both the accounts, so we're doing both the postings to realization account. $2,50,000. What is this? This is stock taken over. Correct? No. Stock taken over. Okay. I'll take it. You have to keep a tab of the assets. All assets ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಒಂದು fixed assets, stock interest, and it is sold. Everything done. So what if they don't give something? When they said ಯಾವ್ದ ಮಾರಿದ್ದು ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, what do we do in that case? We don't pass any entry at all. We assume that there is no value for that asset, zero value. So ಅದು ಹಣವೇ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ zero value. Liabilities ಆದ್ರೆ ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ. If there is any liability, I will discuss this as we go forward with more questions. But liability ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡ್ತೇನೆ ನಾನು, ಎಲ್ಲಿಯಾದ್ರೂ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಹಾಕೋದಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನೇ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಎಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಎಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಯಾದ್ರೂ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉಂಟು ಎಸೆಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೋಲ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸೋಲ್ಡ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್. ಸೊ ಸೇಲೇ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉಂಟು, ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಪೇಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪೇಡ್. ಪ್ರೂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ. ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಹೇಳೋದಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ. ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸೇಲ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಂಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನಾವು. Okay, creditors ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ liability ಇರೋದು. Capital and all is not considered as external liability, right? It's only one creditor. Creditors allowed a discount of 5% and the expense of realization amounted to 6,000. ಎರಡಕ್ಕೂ entry same. Realization account will be debited. You're making a payment towards creditors, so realization account will be debited to bank account. Expense ಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ entry. Liability payoff ಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ entry. So realization account will be debited to bank ಇಲ್ಲಿ cash. Not very comfortable writing cash, but cash ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, so I have to write cash. So first creditors ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ ನಾವು? ಫುಲ್ 3,20,000 ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. 3,20,000 into 90%, no, 95%, 5% discount. $3,04,000. ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ 6,000. ಅದು ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬರ್ದು ಬಿಡ್ತೇನೆ. ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ 6,000. The total payment 3,20,000. This will come over here. ಗೋಣಿ ಚೀಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುದು ಇಷ್ಟು cash by realization account. So what happens if there is outstanding? Outstanding and the payment ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾಕಿ ಉಂಟು payment ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. That will come over here. Payment ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ನಾವು. Prudence is conservatism. Losses ಅನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು recognize ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. Gains ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು recognize ಮಾಡುದಿಲ್ಲ. 3,10,000. Oh, sorry. What is this? This is creditors and expenses paid. Okay. Okay, done. That's it. Now we have to just see if we have paid all the liabilities. Liabilities only the creditors matra payment agide. If not, we have to assume that it is paid and we have to pass the payment at outstanding. Yes, Abhilash, we will have to recognize if the outstanding expenses there, we will have to recognize it separate. Okay, now we have to first close the realization. Now comes the closures. Now see how it is closed. Very simple, very simple. Very interesting also. We have to first see which side is more. Debit side is more or credit side is more. So what does it look like? Okay, 13, 13, 16, 16. It's very close. I think the debit side is more. 5 lakhs plus 3 lakhs plus 5 lakhs plus 3 lakh 10,000. 16 lakh 10,000 is the total of the debit side of the realization account. Is that right? The credit side is lesser, no? Yeah. What is the total of the credit side you've got? Yes, it is 15 lakh 30,000, I think. So the difference is 80,000. This 80,000 will be distributed among all the partners. Okay, this is realization. The debit side is more. So if the debit side is more, what is it? If the debit side is more, that means it is a realization loss. So this will be transferred. Now, whatever that 80,000 will be transferred to the partner's capital accounts. Yeah, 15 lakh 30,000. The difference is written over here. So we have X, Y, Z in their profit sharing ratio. So what is their profit sharing ratio? 4:3:2, right? 4/9, 3/9, 2/9. 80,000 into 4 divided by 9, 35,555.55. Then this will be 80,000 into 3 divided by 9. 26,660. 667. And the last guy, 80,000 into 2 divided by 9. We will have to be careful over here because the round off, it should be equal to 80,000. Otherwise, you'll get that 1 rupee difference. No, although I got 17,777.77, I am not rounding it off to the next whole number. I am writing basically the difference. 777 post this in the partner's capital account as well. It will be debited to the partner's capital account. I will write over here to realization account. 35,556. $26,667. and we have 17,777. So this is the posting. Whatever that partner's capital account is there, we have posted it to the partner's capital account. Realization account is done. Now, next process is to close the partner's capital account. So, whatever the balance is there in the partner's capital account, that will be paid or received from them. That you have to calculate the balancing figure. So, we will not carry forward the balance over here because the firm is getting closed, right? So, whatever the partner's capital balances are there, that will be we will have to check how much is the balance, and either we will pay them money or we will receive money from them. So we'll have to calculate. If the credit side is more, that means the firm has the liability to make the payment to them. If the debit side is more, that means the firm has the right to receive money from them, right? Pretty basic. Credit side is it's a liability for the firm. Debit side is just it is a asset for the firm. So you should know, you should see which side is more, credit side or debit side. If credit side is more, it's a liability for the firm. If debit side is more, then it is asset for the firm. So 4,40,000 for X. The credit side is more. Calculate the balance. How much is the balance we get? 4,40,000 minus 35,556 is 4,00,000. 4,444, I think. Correct? No. So this much cash will be paid to X. We have a liability towards them. We're closing the books. So it's to cash now already put the next 3,30,000 is the total for Y. I took 35,556 Deepak, so that is why 44. You may have rounded it off to 3,55,055 also. I mean 35,555 also. If you write, you'll get 4,04,445. Next, 3,30,000 minus 2,50,000 minus 26,667. 53,333. Array, where am I writing? This much payment will be made to him. 53,333. Next, 2,20,000 minus 17,770. 777. How much is the balance you get over here? You might have rounded this off to 35,555 and this to 17,778. So that is fine with us. This is 2,02,223. Correct? No. The balancing figure. These are all balancing figures in the account. The partner's capital account only balancing figures. Yes. Now the same thing will have to be posted to the cash account also. It was cash payments, so we will write it on the credit side. By excess capital account. How much did we pay X? 4,04,444. By Y's capital account. $53,333. By Z's capital account. $2,02,223. Done. Now, this cash account will tally over here. It should tally 9,70,000. What it means is basically whatever money we receive from different modes by selling was basically distributed to the partners and outside liabilities. 3,10,000 plus 4,04,444 plus 53,333, 9,70,000 on both sides. That's it. Okay. Next, one more question we will do. Illustration 2 from the ICAI material. Let's go to the question. Little longer question than the previous one. Illustration 1 in the ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ longer question. PQ and R were partners sharing profits and losses. I hope you're done with illustration 1. Did you all finish illustration 1? Actually, no. Yes. Okay. PQ and R were partners sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2:1. No partnership salary or interest on capital being allowed. The balance sheet on 30th June 22 is as follows. So there is fixed capitals. Okay. So there's this concept of fixed capital method and fluctuating capital method. So remember, we have discussed this before in partnership itself. In the first unit itself, we had discussed there are two types of capital methods. One is the fixed capital method, and the other one is the fluctuating capital method. So what we generally do in our theoretical discussions is fluctuating capital method. All the adjustments, every entry relating to the partner is directly done in his capital account itself. It is done through his capital account itself. We don't have two different accounts for a partner. So one partner related, whatever entries are there, it could be capital introduction, it could be interest and capital, interest and drawings, profit distribution, salary payable to him, bonus payable to him, commission payable to him, drawings adjustment. Everything is done through the capital account itself, right? So that is known as fluctuating capital method. Generally, we follow the same thing, general reserve distribution. So everything is done in the capital account of the partner. That's known as fluctuating capital. It keeps changing. But in the real world, right, in the practical world, when we do it, for example, in our firm, when we maintain our books of accounts, we maintain books of accounts in the partnership business books. Generally, what we can do is fixed capital method. Fixed capital method is a little bit more practical and gives better information. So fixed capital methodology, one the partner ledger account ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. We will be doing two ledgers for each partner. So one ledger is for the capital introduced by him, and the other one is for adjustment of all the adjustments relating to the partners. For example, profit distribution, interest on capital, interest on drawings, all that is charged, all that is entered in the uh, current accounts of the partners. So fixed capital, there are two types of accounts. One is the capital account and the other one is the current account. So two accounts are made for each partner. So if there are two partners, you'll have four capital accounts, like four capital related accounts will be there. First partner's capital account, first partner's current account. Next, second partner's capital account, second partner's current account. So like this, you will have accounts. Now here they are following the fixed capital method. Nothing to worry as such. But remember, the current account can have debit balance if he has withdrawn more money than what he has invested or what he has earned profits. It can have debit balance. Now all that is there over here. Very simple. But each partner will have two accounts. That's all. Okay, now look at this. P, Q, and R were partners sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 3 to 2 to 1. No partnership salary or interest in capital being allowed. The balance sheet on 30th June 22 is as follows. So there's a fixed capital, P, Q, and R. We have three partners. So 20,000, 20,000, and 10,000. Current account. So you can see current account. I see only P and Q. R is not there. R is on the other side. It's on the asset side, 400. That means this is negative capital. Okay. Generally, it should be a liability for the firm, not towards the partners. ನಾವು ಹಣ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಓನರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹಣ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಓನರ್ಸ್ ಹಣ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ ಇದು ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಉಂಟು ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಆಸೆಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ us money. Then you have loan from P. This is partners loan. P is a partner, so partners loan 8,000. Trade creditors 12,400 is there. Fixed assets, trademark, which is an intangible asset, freehold property, plant and equipment, motor vehicles is there. Current assets, you have stock, trade debtors, provision 100 rupees iduntu, cash at bank 200, miscellaneous losses, ours current account, this will go to the partner's capital account, and profit and loss. It's a loss, accumulated loss. Reserve with ulta idu basically. Reserve only accumulated profits ಇರ್ತದೆ P&L ಈಗ assets side ಇದ್ರೆ it's a loss, accumulated losses, expense ಅದು debit balance ಉಂಟು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ P&L account. So this will be debited to the partner's capital accounts. On 1st July 22, the partnership was dissolved. Motor vehicle was taken over by Q at a value of 500, but no cash passed specifically in respect of this transaction. This is taken over by a partner, right? We debited to his partner's capital account, taken it for 500. Sale of other assets realized the following amounts: trademark, freehold property, plant and equipment, stock, trade debtors. Amounts ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ direct question ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Trade creditors were paid 11,700 in full settlement of their debts. The cost of resolution amounted to 1,500. The loan from P was repaid. P and Q. This is loan from P, partners loan, and partners capital account entry ಮಾಡುದು. P and Q were both fully solvent and able to bring in any cash required, but R was forced into bankruptcy and was able to bring 1/3 of the amount due. Okay, so there is bankruptcy in this question. I'll discuss what is bankruptcy, but we'll do one thing. We'll solve this question now without this part. Okay, we'll just do this without bankruptcy. Arkuda is fine, you will tell. I'll discuss what is bankruptcy, insolvency, but we're not yet ready for it. So I'm going to solve this a little differently now. We're going to ignore this sentence for now. I'll do this question again later. There we will consider this. Full question ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತಲ್ಲ, just partners capital account adjustment ಕಲಿಸ್ತದೆ. Okay, now cash and bank account, realization account, partners fixed capital accounts after transferring current account balances. So current account balance ತೆಗೆದು capital account ಗೆ transfer ಮಾಡಿ close ಮಾಡೋದು. Let's do this. So we will prepare realization account, capital account, and cash account. Okay, cash and bank account. Capital account only ಸಾಕು. Current account ಎಂತ balance ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದು capital account ಗೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಬಿಡೋದು, because we don't need those current accounts anymore. The business is closing down. So whatever balances are there in the current account will be transferred to the capital accounts of the partners itself. We'll learn how to transfer and all. It's very easy. Okay, now realization account in the format haki first again. Particular amount. I'm not considering the insolvency and all while solving here now. With insolvency also, I'll discuss later at the end how it works. This is not the actual solution you'll find in the ICA material. We are assuming that everyone is solvent while solving the question now. I hope I'm clear. We can't do an insolvency question right away now. We need to understand all of this properly first. Practice question. How many partners do we have? Three partners, right? PQR. This is partners capital accounts. Then we also need the bank account. What is it? Cash or bank account or cash and bank account? What is given? It's cash at bank, right? So cash at bank account. At the end, they have said cash and bank account, but look at the balance sheet. What is given in the balance sheet? Cash at bank, right? So it's bank account. Can also write cash at bank account or bank account or even cash in bank account is not a problem for us. Are we ready with the formats? Shall we start? First process, dismantling the whole balance sheet, right? So trademarks, freehold property, plant and equipment, motor vehicles, all of this will come on the in the realization account debit side, debit balances ಇರುವುದು. So to trademark, 40,000. To freehold property, 8,000. To plant and equipment, 12,800. Then motor vehicle, 700. Stock, This will also come over here only, current assets. Stock 3,900. Trade debtors 2,000 is that 2,000 will come, not 1,900. Separately edit kare baritan and 2,000 on the debit side, 100 rupees on the credit side, provision. So two debtors, trade debtors. So can I trade debtors? No problem. 2,000. Buy provision for bad debts 100. Then you have cash at bank. Cash at bank will come in the bank account itself. Debit side. To balance brought down. 200. Next, miscellaneous losses. R's current account. So R's current account, it will be transferred to the capital account itself. Directly, you can write over here on the debit side. This one has debit balance. On the asset side, would be that means it has debit balance. So it will come on the debit side to R's current account. R is the column only birthday ಆಯ್ತು. This is relating to R only. So R is the column. 400. Profit and loss account. What do we do with the profit and loss account? Again, this won't come in realization. You can't sell your profit and loss account, which is a loss. Profit and loss account, debit balance in that is a loss. So it will be distributed among the partners, accumulated losses. So partners capital account debit side to profit and loss account. Find out what is their profit sharing ratio. 3:2:1. So we have 12,000 and 3:2:1 ratio. So how much will that be? 12,000 divided by 6 into 3, 6,000, 4,000, 2,000. See, now we have finished the asset side. Asset side ಎಲ್ಲ debit balances ಎಲ್ಲ debit side ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು provision ಇತ್ತು which had negative balance, right? So that means it had credit balance, it will come on the credit side. Otherwise, asset side ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದದೆಲ್ಲ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲಿಯಾದ್ರೂ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೇನೆ. ಮೂರು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ದಿರ್ತದೆ. If it is on the asset side, if something is acting as a negative on the asset side, then obviously it has credit balance. So that will come on the credit side. Simple. Next, fixed capital. So this will be the opening balance in the capital account. Buy balance brought down. 2020-10. Next, current account ಅಲ್ಲಿ credit balances ಅದು liabilities ಸೈಡಲ್ಲೇ ಉಂಟು. So on the credit side of these partners, buy P's current account and C's current account, Q's current account. So P current account is 500. This is 9,000, right? Yes. Loan from P. Loan from P. This is partner's loan. Again, will not go to realization account relating to a partner. I told you earlier. If it's relating to a partner, it will come in the partner's capital account. So it's relating to a partner, it will come over here itself. Buy P's loan account, credit side only. What is the loan amount? 8,000, is it? 8,000. Will credit under P's column. Trade creditors will be paid, so it will come with the realization account credit side. $12,400. Done. So this is how we have recorded all the assets and liabilities in the respective sides. Now let's go through what has happened, how we have done the realizations. Let's read it. On 1st July 22, the partnership was dissolved. Motor vehicle was taken over by Q at a value of 500. But no cash passed specifically in respect of this transaction. Sale of other assets realized the following amounts. So now over here, motor vehicle is being taken over by a partner. So this asset is being taken over by a partner. We're not selling it. So we will debit that partner, right? So what is the name of that partner? Who's taking it over? Q. So by Q's capital account. At what value is he taking it over? 500. No cash pass through. You're not writing a cash entry anywhere. So write it in the Q's account also, debit side, post it. ಅವನಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಬಟ್ ಒಂದು ಎಸೆಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಟು realization account. Use capital account, debit to realization account. That's the journal entry. Motor vehicle taken over. ₹500 will be debited to Q's capital account. Done. Next, what have they said? Here also you can write motor vehicle taken over, bracket will bury. Next. Sale of other assets realized the following amounts. Trademark nil, okay. Trademark valuable. Freehold property 7,000, plant and property. Okay, so all this will come over here, credit side only. The journal entry is bank account debit to realization account. So by bank account, list mata hogi, whatever values we have got. Freehold property, plant and equipment, stock, and what was the last thing? Trade debtors. So what are the values? 7,000, 5,000, 3,000. 1,600, is it? Yes. The total 16,600. Just scan through once what in all assets. Trademark is nil, so I did not write trademark. Freehold property aitu, plant and equipment aitu, stock done. All of these assets have been realized. ಎಲ್ಲಿಯಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು asset realize ಆಗದಿದ್ರೆ ಎಂತ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸರ್? Ignore ಮಾಡೋದು. You don't write any entry for it. It means it's like trademark nil. Realize ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು, ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ to realization account 16,600. None hige, just for the analysis we saw, but it is not necessary. Assets ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಮಾರಿದೇವಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. Assets sold or realized. Realized is the better term because debtors ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುವಾಗ it is realized, right? It's not sold. Trade creditors were paid 11,700 in full settlement of their debts. The cost of dissolution amounted to 1,500. Fine. So Trade debtors, creditors. So two bank account, realization account debit, two bank account. Illi creditors ಮತ್ತೆ realization expenses ಉಂಟು. Creditors value ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂತ creditors ಗೆ ನಾವು 11,700 and expenses, realization expenses 1,500. $13,200. The loan from P was repaid and Q were P and Q were both. I told you we are going to ignore this sentence for now. No, it doesn't ignore matter. Okay, the loan from P was repaid. So loan now ille hakidave. Before that, we'll post this in the bank account by realization account 13,200. Correct, no? Yeah. Liabilities and creditors and expense paid. Creditors and expense paid. Okay. Next, what else do we have? P's loan was paid. ಅದು ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. So you can write over here only P's loan was transferred here. So partners capital account debit to bank account. Now, what was the amount of the loan? 8,000. I hope you have understood this. That loan amount has been paid, it seems. Actually, separate entry pass ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ last ಗೆ adjust ಆಗ್ತದೆ. But because they have mentioned specifically, so the entry is generally loan account debit to bank account. Repayment entry is loan to bank. But here the loan has been transferred to the capital account, right? So capital account debit to bank account, 8,000. By P's capital account, 8,000. Loan repaid. Loan repaid. Okay, last sentence I'm not reading. P and Q were insolvent and all. No, we're not reading it now, but I'll tell you the implication later. Okay, so now just close this account. Realization account close Marty and tell me which side is more, debit or credit side is more Marty. 40,000, 8,000. Debit side looks to be obviously more. At least number of items are more. $8,600 looks to be the total of the debit side. Is that right? 8,600. And what is the balance? Okay, 8,600 minus 100 minus 12,400 minus 500 minus 16,600. Is it 51,000 or 57,000? 51, no? I got 51. Yes, 51,000 I think is correct. Yeah. By partners capital accounts, we have PQR 51,000 in their ratio. What is their ratio? 3 should goes to 1, no? 3 by 6, 2 by 6, 1 by 6. 25,500, 17,000, 8,500. Post this in the partner's capital account to realization account 8,500, 17,000, 25,500. Okay, now close the realization account. Which side is more for P? For P, which side is more? Credit side looks to be more. It's a close call, I think, again. No, debit side is more. So it is 25,500 plus 8,000 plus 6,000. 39,500. Correct? No. And the next person, 4,000 plus 500. Okay, balancing figure you can calculate. 39,500 minus 28,500. 11,000. So he should get this, he should bring this money into the firm, or the firm has to give him this money. It was debit balance. Debit balance means firm should get the money. Okay. It is a receivable for the firm. The debit side was more. So he will bring the money to the firm. So by bank. I hope you're clear. So debit balance is more means firm ಗೆ asset ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದು firm ಗೆ receivable ಆಯ್ತು. Generally capital account ಅಲ್ಲಿ credit balance ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಗೆಲ್ಲ firm ಕೊಡುದು ಹಣ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. Payable liability side ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಗ debit balance ಉಂಟು. That means he has to pay. Next guy. I think for him 29,000 is the total. Credit side is more for him. So two bank. Now in this case, credit side is more. That means it's payable to him. Now payment ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅವನಿಗೆ. Next one, R. No, R's total is debit side is more for R, I think. It's 10,900. Correct, no? He has to get 900 rupees. He has to bring it to the firm. Debit balance was more. So what ತರಬೇಕು firm again? ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ what I'm ignoring here is the last sentence. R goes insolvent ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. So R goes insolvent ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ 900 rupees ತರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಎಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ತರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿನ್ನು. There's a case law and all. We have to study that in detail. That we'll do probably in tomorrow's class. This 900 rupees he has to bring, no? 900 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಅವ ಈಗ ತರಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ಇವ 11,000 ತರಬೇಕು, 900 ತರಬೇಕು. ಇವನಿಗೆ 900 ತರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಗ ಎಂತ ಮಾಡುದು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಉಂಟು. ದಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಲೇಟರ್. ಆ 900 ತರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುದಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಫರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಹಣ ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರೆ ಪರ್ಸನಲಿ we have to somehow arrange it. We'll learn how to arrange it. Basically, that liability will be shifted to the other two partners. You tarbekagtadi 900 rupees. So then ta hege anta we'll discuss tomorrow in detail. Did you understand what I just said? Post ಮಾಡಿ ಕ್ಯೂವಿಗೆ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು 7,500. Oh, 1 second. I think we missed one entry, no? Have we? No, no, we haven't. We haven't. All good. Right. All good. All good. So then next, unique 7,500 cash code ಬೇಕು. Next to these guys P and Q will get money to the firm. So please capital account 7,500 and to ours capital account. I thought we did not post the realization loss. I have posted it, right? 900. Done. Not 7,500, 11,000. Sorry. P is 11,000, right? Okay. So what is the total? 11,000. It should tally. See if it tallies. 28,700 is the total I'm getting on one side. Is it 28,700 on the other side as well? Yes, that's it. Tallies. Did you all understand the flow? It's simple, no, once you understand. Did you all understand the flow? You just have to get how it is done. Yes, super. All right. Any questions, any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, I'll give you one homework to try. Try practical question number one today. Practical question one, you would try Madi. See if you can do this question. It's a simple question. If an asset is not recorded, there was an unrecorded asset of 6,000 which was taken over. This will be simply credited to the realization account. Okay, the entry is bank account, debit to realization account. It is a gain for the company, so it will be credited to the realization account. If there's an unrecorded liability, an amount of 4,200 due for GST had come to notice, this is an unrecorded liability. This will be booked as a loss. Debit market. Can you try this question? Can you all try this question? So only three people understood how to do this. I got only three people's yeses. The others did not understand. Understood or not? Sanvi, Abhilash, Pranjul. You all understand? All right. Yes, fantastic. We will do this as homework. So I'll stop the session over here. Yes, yes, right, Nishita. Right, I'll stop over here. You can do this as homework. See you tomorrow, kids. Bye bye. Right, Snehal.